one of the sons.
So it's not gonna be able to be live tonight because it's not allowing us to.
Yeah, I need to figure that out.
You wanna put a post up on the website saying that it'll be posted after it's recorded tonight?
Yep.
Okay, and tell them it's after 6:30.
Say that again?
Hello.
Oh.
Yeah.
I work with two sons. Hey,
What's going on, bro?
oh, my God. It's good. Yeah. Well, the kids started. Yeah, go out.
For you. If you put your wedding, you know.
Make you the official member.
Sure, it works.
Oh, you already got her.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I want white on this stuff. I just gotta sit here.
Anybody else?
Oh. I haven't. So.
Looks like we're already on.
Perfect. 6:35, call the meeting to order. Flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, who wants to be chairman? Vice chair, chairman. Me?
You're the chairperson, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we have
You
to,
want-
every year you're supposed to reassign. So you guys get to pick on each other
I'll
now.
make a motion that we nominate Tony to be the chairperson.
I second. All right.
All in favor?
All right, vice chair. You want to make a motion? Chris, you want to make a motion, Dave? I'll second that. All in favor? Yay. All right, let's review the minutes.
sent tonight.
Right. There it goes. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Rewarded.
We'll do it next time.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we get approve the minutes. What do we got? Approve the minutes from February 4th, 2025, March 4th, 2025, March 7th, 2025, and March 18th, 2025.
I'll second it, all in favor? Yay. Parks and Rec Committee.
I actually have 3 items to work on. I brought some of these defective bolts, or one to you in the past, and you said I could retire it because it was defective. I would like permission to consider these consumable items because we go through them, these two don't, they don't bounce anymore, so, and we have a big bag of them that were donated to us, but I understand they're town property now, so if I could consider these like paper plates, and paper clothes, and just dispose of them.
I would think that would be a pretty minimal request.
I don't need
I
to
would-
make a motion.
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
you can throw away
All right.
the pickleballs that
your discretion.
I appreciate it. Secondly, the crocuses are slowly coming up at the triangle. We have a big issue with skunks digging up grubs all over. We planted 1,200 bulbs and I probably planted 1,400 because they kept being dug up and I put them back in the ground. There are products for grub control. The two major ones, one is poisonous and I'd rather not use it. The other one is a spore that kills the grubs. It's granules. You need to apply it 3 times during the season. The only problem is, while they say it's safe for pets and children, that when you're applying it, it's not so safe for pets and children. So it would require, signs to keep people off for 2 or 3 days while it was soaked into the ground. Otherwise, we'll just have skunks digging up the triangle forever, I think. Pat Allen planted an area about this big and she had a jar full of grubs that she
Yeah.
didn't know what to destroy.
You can pour a couple skunks out, huh?
So you need, buy material, what do you need from us?
Well, I'm willing to donate the material,
Okay,
but I just, because there is some possibility, if children, if I put signs up, I think that probably covers us, that the children that should not be on there for those few days.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
okay.
perfect.
And then my third item that got left off here was tables. Last time we did our puzzle competition, we moved from the community center, which was getting kind of crowded, to the school gym. And Dave did a great job of swinging the tables around for a town meeting. Myrna, Raven and I are not quite so able to, those are like 1903 tables that
They
weigh
are.
1,000 pounds.
It would be nice if we stepped into the 20th century, right? Had some
Right.
nice fiberglass ones.
And Steve used to take them up and down, but the new custodian is about 5 feet tall and a little slip of a thing, and she's not also in a category not to do that. So I was wondering if we invested in tables where we might keep them, or if some arrangement might be made with the school. I don't know what those classrooms are like that they don't use for anything.
How many tables do you need?
Well, we have 12 teams. So 12 tables, and then we, for the head table, where I sit and the refreshments, we can use the little tables that are there, that's fine. And Charlotte said we could use these, so say we need 9 if we're still using the school.
I don't know where we'd store them.
Well, the place is so big, the fire, the training building behind the firehouse.
I would think that, wasn't you thinking about requesting if the district would allow us to use one of their schools?
Another
Well,
shed,
no, but that's not town-owned property, so
even our shed is too small.
that shed, yes.
Yeah.
What are you gonna move them over there each time?
That's what we'd have to do, but these, some of them fold up and have a handle,
Yeah.
and they aren't so heavy as.
It would probably behoove the town to have a few of these things, but
Yeah, I mean, the
yes, I
Parks
agree.
and Rec without the rest of the town, use them if needed.
What's your idea for storing them?
My idea is that we need a better storage place.
Oh, shit,
And
yeah.
we're going to continue to grow, and this particular activity, 45 people, most of them from Skowhegan, Farmington, Camden, so you want people coming to Unity from away, we did that, so.
Huh.
I suggest
they
we
want
get
to
them some
get-
friggin' tables.
And then where we're gonna put them? We're gonna move them out of here. Yeah, so-
Dave can take some home with him and you
Yeah.
can take some.
He doesn't
home.
have town on property.
You can slide this way, put it right behind you.
Yeah.
And so as far
It
as
does
getting
stink,
tables,
you
it's
can't.
not an issue for you, it's,
It's where we're
And I
gonna
don't
store
think
them.
I-
Where we're gonna
correct.
store 'em.
so I suggest we table the table issue, and I'll bug you about it again next time. Okay, that's everything I had then.
Round ones are ones like this.
Huh?
Round ones are ones like this.
Isn't that rounded? What do you mean? Oh,
No,
round
that's
like
a round
historic
circle.
tables? No, we,
You can roll them right over
no, we
there.
do puzzles on it, you need them long and rectangular. 6 or 8 by 6 foot, yeah.
Fire department.
Yes, sir. I got a few things. So we are awarded, a forestry grant in January or whatever. With that, I got some, foam. I know I talked about this at previous selectmen's meeting, and some radios. I just need to ask your permission. It's gonna be over $500, for those items, out of my budget, if that's okay. The radios, we're in pretty dire need to start replacing our portable radios. With something a little bit more rugged, something built for firefighting. So I plan on continuing and buying, this is for four portable radios. I plan on going through this grant process every year to replace those. Still gonna cost me probably $2,000 to replace those per year, which is fine out of my budget. With the line items I have, because it's over that 500, I'm just seeking permission to do that. Same with the phone, wanna replace that every year. Right now we have a bulk of Class B foam that we don't use, PFAS is in it and all that stuff. The state's working with a program through the fire marshal's office to eventually get rid of that for us.
Okay.
Right now, if we were to get rid of it, it would be thousands of dollars, so we have to kind of hold on to it. We do have to report it by the end of this year. My goal is to replacing that foam we have with a Class A foam, which is for Class A fires, doesn't have PFAS in it. So this is the start. I'm getting, I think the grant was for 30 gallons of foam or whatever, so we're gonna start using that, building that supply up. For that, so those are two items I was awarded through that. I have other things, but that was the first thing I had.
How often are you using the phone? Like,
Foam, so the Class B foam was very rare. That's more for like, gasoline fires, things like that. The Class A foam we transition to would be more for structural fire attack, grass fires, things like that. It's approved by the U.S. Forest Service. It's great for preventing rekindles at structure fires, and it really sucks that water into the wood and stuff a lot better. So probably more often than we would now once we transition that. Yeah.
Next one, make a motion. Thoughts? Anything?
Hmm.
You wanna make a motion? Mr. Grant?
I make a motion that we approve the expenditures for the fire department in the form of what, foam?
Foam and radios.
Foam
yeah,
and radios.
I mean, it's coming out of my budget. so
Yeah.
it's not- Unless you wanna give me more money, I'm always welcome for that too.
I'm in that.
You sure you won't deny it? I second that. All in favor? Yay.
Couple of things I had for you, I am working on a Maine municipal claim. For the fire we had at the flower shop, we lost a fan, some hose and stuff. That's a $500 deductible, I'm currently working on that, reached out to them, they're just waiting on a quote for some items. So I'm following up with that. I'm gonna be putting in a grant coming up for flashlights, a municipal grant, that's a 0% match, so that won't be any cost of the town if that's awarded. And last, Charlene, you had something that you're working on your side.
I do not have any.
Okay, so that's good. So that's due on the 15th of April or around then. I am going through what they call a desk audit right now through FEMA and it's Astro, and it's a pain. Through the fire grant stuff. So, just so you're aware, so I'm dealing with that. They need all the records on staff, there's a bunch of other stuff they need. It's kind of a pain, but I'll get through it. That will give us stuff back, either one, but we'll get through it. The other thing I had is, I'd like to look at getting fuel cards for the fire trucks. And the reason for that is that the Wex cards, right, it used to be Right Express or main company, now they call them Wex. The reason for that is it puts everything on one bill. So basically it's a fuel card that you use at any fuel pump. They take it at, in Unity, they take it at Troy General, they take it out to Fairfield, whatever. And the advantage of this is it's controlled by employee that has access. Each employee has a PIN that's only known to them. And they automatically take out any federal tax, they automatically take out any state tax out of it, so that $4 a gallon diesel is actually costing you $3.20 or whatever. Right now, we're not asking for any tax back, so we're
Yeah.
actually paying tax that we don't need to.
Right, and normally the town should be applying for, the gas tax refund. I can't find where it was ever done. I mean, it may have been done long ago, but we can't find where they've been getting any refunds back.
So we're kind of throwing money away that we don't need to.
Yeah.
This card allows you to controls, terminate employees on it. You can always go online and see what time exactly what truck was used for fuel, where it was used for fuel. I've used it in Albion for years, don't have any issues. And I still believe they do it if you pay your bills on time, you get an extra 0.5% off. It's a main company, it's a national company, I mean, they use it everywhere. But I think that'd be a cost savings. There is zero cost to the town whatsoever for the cards, for usage, and it's through I would do it through the state of Maine program, so as a municipality, we can go under the state, so you get those benefits at a 0.5% off. And basically, I would just have the fuel card in every truck.
Each
So
truck would have its own
Each
card.
truck would have its own fuel card. Say like Emily gets fuel in the ladder, she would go there, she would use the card, she would put in her PIN. And all the transactions are all online. She would have a receipt.
So would it be officers that would have this pin or?
No, it'd be anyone on the department.
Anyone on the?
Yeah.
The invoices would come like they come through.
Electronic.
Yeah, invoices come electronically, and anytime you can go online and see transactions. Or I can go on my phone and see transactions. Yeah. And again, it would be a cost savings for the town.
Thoughts?
It sounds like a pretty good idea to me.
I think Freedom just started using them last year.
This is almost a no-brainer. I mean, saving money for town.
Yeah, and you can monitor it easy enough.
In the middle of a fire scene, you don't be dumbing around. We need to go get gas or something running low. Oh,
Especially
crap.
when they're out of town, and we only have a charge account at like Deep to a general, so you're in Benton or Clinton, and you're a long fire down there. There's a possibility that they would need to refuel.
And the other thing is too, we do have DEF in our tank truck.
Yeah.
And instead of buying a crazy amount with a gallon at the store, you can go right out to Fairfield if you really need it, and the pumps out back, you get it by the gallon.
Right.
And it's super cheap compared to the.
Yeah.
You'd save money driving out there.
Right, compared to what you pay for DEF, I had to deal with DEF driving truck myself. You guys don't keep any at the station?
We only keep it when we need it, because that stuff does go bad.
Right.
At least I've been told, you keep it on hand and then
Well, of course it
it
does.
will go bad. Or they just tell you this.
Yeah. Of course it has a shelf life.
Yeah.
Right.
And the only other thing I have is, just so you're aware, not for now, but for future, we believe we lost a couple more shingles off the roof, we'll try to get those repaired. But just so you know, down the road, that roof is gonna be an issue. And the other thing I didn't realize was we're going on that recommended time for painting for the station. So I may end up putting that in next year's budget, just so you're aware. I'll forget by then, you'll forget by then, but someone hopefully remind you.
I think that, when did that get painted, when they?
For sure, it's cheap.
8 years ago.
Yeah. They say every 5 to 8 years for that hardy board was on the 8-year mark, so.
Yeah.
So it does have a few areas that do need it, and I think it's where the rain hits it, but we may be able to resolve that too. So that's a couple of the projects I want to look at next year that we can take care of before it costs us more money. But hopefully the shingles won't be next year, hopefully we can put that off, because it's still early, but I don't wanna put off so long we have damage either. That's it. Anything for me?
You guys wanna make a motion on the fuel card?
I make a motion that we accept the fuel cards through the fire department.
I'll work with Charlene with that.
All in favor? Okay. All right,
Just for information, I sit next to the guy in the state that takes care of wax cards.
Yeah,
So if you guys have any questions,
yeah,
know who to contact.
Okay.
perfect.
thank you.
Do they like him?
He's all right.
Not him, this year.
Do they like what, the cards?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, they work out great. I use them all the time.
they do work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can go to DOT camps and fill up too.
Right, I mean, there's a lot more options, you know, you never know.
Yeah.
Chances are you'll never use it as duty, but if you needed to, you could.
And billing's cleaner than two, we're dealing with one fuel bill, we're not dealing with a bill from this place, a bill from that
Right.
place.
It's all right up front, more transition.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
It
appreciate
makes sense.
Right, that's. All right, number 7, appoint somebody to the budget committee. You guys wanna pull straws, what do you wanna do on this?
This is the position- Yeah, this is the position that Tim held on the county budget committee, that we have been kind of holding off until we have.
I'd like to
full board.
withdraw my name from consideration, if I could.
I did ask him if it could be a non-selectman member, it has to be one of the municipal officers at this point, the way that they've got it built up, so you couldn't send me in that place. But that's basically, it is what it is, I think it's once every 2 weeks they have budget
At night.
meetings. Yes, I think they're at 6 p.m.
Once every 2 weeks.
So depending on which budget, yeah, I think it's different each, I mean, I can get you a schedule, they sent us an email on the schedule of the meetings.
Yeah, let's get some more information on that.
Yeah, I think I make a motion that we table this.
Yep, I'll second it, all in favor? Nice.
You want to sign up?
Yeah, okay, we can take that motion back. No, I agree, I'd like to know if it's gonna be at night, you know.
One night,
One night.
I'm sure it's consistent, but.
Yeah, right.
And I think some of them are Zoom too, I think they do have a Zoom option, so.
Zoom option, okay.
Yeah. I'll get some more information for you guys and email it to you this week.
Oh,
You can always come and use the town.
oh,
line.
thanks.
You've got a key to the building.
You can sit right there and do that one.
That's right.
That's right, I know. You're right, I could. It's available, that doesn't look an option.
Yeah.
So
I use it, I take it home to work on stuff at home and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And it's here, it's really basically in this room for use, from going forward where we have this system, we'll be using it in this room, so.
No, that's also nice.
So this bill here is for
Which one is it?
the Bangor Publishing.
Bangor Publishing, that was the, public hearing advertising for Bangor Daily. And then there was another one for Morning Sentinel, it was 700 and something, it's further down on the list somewhere. Main Trust Local Services, 766.37, that was the required advertising that had to be done per the land use ordinance. For the public hearing, that's the other night.
Yeah.
Substantial with those two per papers, but they are specifically stated in the land use ordinance to use.
Yeah.
those.
That's a pretty pricey,
It is,
Right. But there was money from a grant for that, doesn't that cover that or no?
no, that was not for, that grant was not for this is
Alright.
for, that was when they were working on the restructure of the land use ordinance, that was the half grant.
I thought John said there was money left over from
There's money left, well, it's not left over, we sent back the difference back to the state, what was retained was what was billed by the town for administration.
that. Okay.
You can, I put the charge under legal advertising where we did fund the, town budget with a portion of that HAP grant primarily for, not for public hearings, but for, training for the planning board and the appeals board. So if you want, I can move the charge to be a different expense line if you'd like, or we can leave it, and I mean, we're still well under our budget in that area, I don't know how many more I think we had 2,500 assigned and we've used like maybe 15, well, that's 15 or 16 right there, those two charges, and we've had one more since that, before that. But it's hefty when we have to do the public hearing one, because it requires to be
Right, so much,
published in
right.
those. It's only the planning board public hearings, the other ones can be published in any.
Right.
Like for like your GA and the other, it's public, planning board, public hearings. And I have all the bills right here if you want to look at them, and here's the warrant to be signed. Does anybody need the bill? Yeah, absolutely.
Legal services.
Legal services, you received the bill from Pretty Clarity for, the.
The planning board meeting,
Yeah.
is that what this bill is for?
Yeah.
I was,
Planning board, and then there was a couple of questions that you
Yeah.
requested me to check on the petition procedure. Those were
Mhm.
billed on that bill as well, it's in.
yeah, I was just curious what, I was looking for
I
this one
think
to
the
come in, I wasn't
majority-
sure how much that was gonna cost.
It was close to 800, I think,
Was it?
yeah, between the consult, which
For her night, yeah,
and then her coming here. I don't think that includes planning board night, that was, the public hearing night, that was just for the one
That was the
From-
planning board here.
meeting
No,
here. Yes,
not the
we
one
still are
above.
receiving yet another bill for
Yeah.
the 4-hour meeting.
Mhm. Yeah, I've just been waiting to see these come across, I wasn't sure what they were gonna be.
When we get ready to sign the warrant, I also have your minutes all ready to sign too. Together.
Like, they're quite expensive planning board meetings,
Well,
That's
we-
not done yet, Dave.
yeah, I know, we still got one bill in the hopper.
Or possibly more too.
Right, probably more. $201,000.
Part of that is the payoff for the fire trucks.
Right, I see
have,
that,
that's how they pay off, and the amount for that is not coming out of the general fund, that's coming out of all the reserves for the warrant for town meeting.
Yeah.
I've already closed out your upcoming maturity date for the fire department truck CD that had ended up with 69, almost 70,000 in it. And then converted that into the fire truck reserve account. And then we're doing the transfer from TIP of 10,000 and 13,000 from general fund 4. So that won't hit the general fund,
Right,
it'll be reimbursed.
That makes sense.
And there might be a couple of payroll warrants that require a signature in there too. Going forward, I'm gonna attempt to have payroll warrants available for signature on Monday nights when you have your work session, where it only requires that, doesn't require in a meeting signature. I think Tony, you signed them all, I think it's just the rest of them.
Yep.
Your books out there.
We didn't pull all of Tim's data out,
Oh.
giving him an opportunity to kind of catch up to where we are. If you'd like all yours back, I can get you a couple extra binders. just-
No, I'm happy with the way mine was.
You can stay in shape. the
Yeah,
table's like-
I've got them all, I got them all in the backseat of my
As you
truck.
notice, you all have also received your municipal's officer manual.
I
for
see
your,
that,
light
I
reading
see that.
In preparation for your elected officials training.
I gotta add on to my house to collect all the papers that
I know we're running out of storage space here in the town office, but that's great.
Imagine that.
Well, we had some more tables.
You know.
we can stack stuff on the table.
All right, Mel and Shirley Lidstone, Perry Road.
Yes,
All right.
we'd just like to, find out if the town can talk with the state and find out what is going on with that prairie road, because it's extremely arbitrary, what, they come in and close it, it's not even close to the road as far as flooding. They've got you go over there right now, and the road flooded signs are out, they're open. And yet, they've taken out the road closed signs. There's been all kinds of chatter. It really has affected the people from Burnham that want to come over to Unity, because, it just blocks them off, it doesn't block them off, because as soon as the state guy puts it across, the next person that comes through is pushing it right out to the side, if not throwing it right out of my field, which that's happened at times too. And, heavy trucks are going through the day that they're putting them up. And then when they take them down, no posting, as far as weight limits, it is no sense to it at all. And for us, if you want to go to max, it's from our house, it's 4 miles round trip. If we have to go around, it's 24 miles. So,
Was there a lot of debris built up against the bridge this time?
there's no
More
current.
so, huh?
It was just sitting there.
I mean, I didn't drive over there, so.
I've seen, that road flood from 139 all the way.
All the way
up to
in,
Big
yeah.
Bridge. And
Every
people,
year.
a lot of times people are going through then even.
Yeah,
So it's somebody, there's something strange going. If they've got concerns about the bridge, have a meeting, post it, let people know. And in the meantime, post it for heavy traffic. Because, these cars going back and forth through there aren't. And, even the state troopers were over there, giving tickets out. And I saw one state trooper give a ticket to a guy right in front of our house. And there was another pickup came from Unity and got to the barricade. The trooper jumped out of his car, opened it up so the guy could drive through, and he just waved to him on through. So it's completely arbitrary.
So I called DOT about that, because I heard there was some concern about the road being closed, and I saw it on Facebook and stuff. I spoke to Dave Allen down there. And the reason it was closed was because the water was touching the bridge. And it was pretty high, it wasn't going across the road. And they were concerned that it was undermining the bridge.
Last summer, they were there, I don't know how many times we went through, and there were state people down under that bridge. And nobody has done anything about it, since then. And like I say, this year has been one of the better years. It probably was touching the bottom of the bridge by, 3 or 4 inches.
So he said that they're concerned because of the integrity of the bridge with the water being high. And that's the reason, because it might be undermining it. He said that they did have the engineers out there later on looking at it and stuff, and that's why they opened it back up. He did say that most likely it's gonna happen again. And that they're gonna have to close it down.
To fix the damn thing. We've been there 47 years, and, they've been watching this for several years. I've seen them there looking at it.
Yeah.
And, they've got money, for Portland. They damn well better have money, what they should do is go right out to 139 and build that up. all the way to the big bridge and replace that bridge. And, it's, like I say, we get it's been entertaining for us because they put the barricades right in front of the house and, there are people, if it was flooded, you could see it. There was road flooded signs they put up last summer. The one in front of the house, we had a big windstorm in September, right in a drought, and it opened up. And they left it that way for a month, didn't bother to go, close it. Like I say, right now, you go over there and both of them are opened up, the road flooded, and it's never come anywhere near the road.
Yeah. He said that, the water was touching the bridge and they were concerned with it undermining it. And
So they
that's,
didn't say anything about any plans to.
they're gonna monitor, they said they're gonna keep an eye on it, most likely they're gonna do it again, they're gonna close it up again. I actually suggested putting a gate across it, because I don't know how many times when I was towing that we had people that attempted to go across it and pretty much put our fire department in danger, that they had to go fish somebody out, or the tow service.
Yep.
And stuff, so I actually suggested to them about putting a gate where they could close it when that happens and stuff, because unfortunately, I've pulled cars out of there that they had water coming right over the hood.
I can see it closing, when it's up over the road, because,
Yeah,
I've been, down there when, these people would go in with like a Camaro or something and figure they were just gonna, bomb right through. And they're sitting right out in the middle of it, so, I can, but it either fix it or, leave us alone, one of the two. Because, I was lucky enough, I never got a ticket, but, I came through every day. Cause I have to go through there twice a day, and I'm not driving 24 miles around, just because some state worker says you've got to. And that's pretty much what we seem to be in the situation we're in, because I said so. So, because, the day before, and the day after, when the day before it was closed, big, heavy, pump trucks, everything else was pounding away.
Yeah.
They closed it, probably this morning, the water was higher there than it was yesterday morning. And, I say, when it's flooded, I can see. But
unfortunately, it's not a town road, so we have no say in it, it's the state and stuff, so.
yep, it's, so we just have to put up with it.
Unfortunately, that's where we're at, But
Yep, I bet it.
Well, if anything changes, we'll throw it on our website.
Yeah.
If, I could maybe ask them, if they gave us a heads up anytime they close it, so that people don't back.
I don't understand why they don't at least post it, the way you see all over the place, heavy loads, a weight limit on it.
Restricted weight limits.
Because these small cars aren't, destroying it. And, they haven't done that. Put up a sign that says pass at your own risk.
Right.
The road may be there or may not be.
Yeah.
There's no way to tell.
But that washes out between there and the end of the road, anytime it floods, it washes the end of the road out and they have to come back.
Annual town appointments.
Yeah. You wanna start with planning board?
Nobody else is asked to be on the planning board?
Yep, yes, we have them all here for you.
Did you ever just say that?
I have them all here, we just have to go down through and you'll have to vote, do a motion to appoint them for their new terms. We asked all the people that were expiring if they wanted to continue with an appointment.
And they said,
Said yes, except for one for planning board, Mary Nickerson, I think, said that she didn't, so Andrew Benson had previously requested that he move to the planning board, so we made an oath and a request for an appointment for Andrew Benson to go to the
yeah,
planning
I see
board.
that.
But we no longer have, we only have one person residing on the appeals board, so we really need to look for, we're supposed to have four, three, and then one alternate. So we really need to really focus on getting some people involved in that, especially with a couple of things that are coming up through the planning board that may require an appeals. So the first request is for John Carmen to extend to another 3-year term. And then we have, I don't know if you want
Did
to.
he
do all
agree
of
to
them.
those?
Yep. Yep.
Really?
Do you want to do all of the planning board all at once?
Yeah, just read
Okay.
it pretty close.
Mark Nickerson, renewing his 3-year term.
Oh, no, okay.
Andrew Benson, renewing a 3-year term. That's it. The other ones have already been, we have been, appointed and oathed for the rest of them on the board.
Those are the
Those are the only ones that are up for reappointment this year.
You wanna make a motion?
Yeah.
It's
Obviously not quick enough for
Must have plans.
So remember,
right, yeah,
You don't want to be here till 9 o'clock, you said, right?
well, I
And just for the
expected it to
record,
be a little
two of
light
the
out,
meetings
but
that I gave you minutes for were not till 9 o'clock.
I make a motion that we accept the new members of the planning board, Andrew Benson, John Carmen, and Mark Nicholson.
I'll second it. All in favor? Yay! All right. Park and Rec.
There's Board of Appeals, so you do parking right now.
Well, I just went through the.
That's okay, yeah, those are for you guys to have also. They're all the contact information for your board members, so you can put them in the front of the book, or take them out and use them. So you said,
Makes it easy. You go whatever exactly.
okay. So if you wanna, while we're doing this, go around and find the 3 pages that you have to sign by your name for the appointment forms, that was the planning board. So Parks and Rec, we have a few that are 2-year terms and a few that are 1-year terms. So we have a request, and I have the letter here, just came in today, a letter from Alicia Benson requesting to be appointed to a 2-year term. I can have you pass it around, because we got it after we've done the book. 2-year term for Parks and Rec.
You been on the recruitment trail?
I have.
Yeah, I see that.
2-year
Nice.
term for Morgan McLagan. 2-year term for Judith Studley. And then we have 1-year terms for Myrna Raven. I think this is per the bylaws that you previously discussed, that you were going to.
Here, we're gonna split it, yes.
And then Lucy Maines, who's a student, correct?
She's a student at the charter school, yeah.
For 1-year term. And then Elena
Elena
Albright
Albright.
is renewing her term. And Dashiell Albright is renewing his term.
They all grabbed the 1-year ones, but I pointed out that anyone could resign, you know. So,
These are all renewals.
Yep, the ones that, we're only
Yeah.
doing the ones that are renewals. Last year, I believe, Rackley had just all done 1 year, because it was all new and getting everything restarted.
Yeah.
So all the people wanted to just make like a 1-year commitment right at that time.
and then we lost 3 this year, so we have the 3 replacements. 2 of them have come to meetings, spoke it out, and one of them I've spoken with by phone.
I'll make a motion that we accept the applications for the Parks and Rec Department of Alicia Benson, Dashiell Albright, Elena Albright, Judith Studley, Lucy Maines, Morgan, McClargan, Myrna, Raven.
I'll second it. All in favor? Okay.
You don't have to list all the years, I hope.
No, I'll
The
put,
terms
I will
out,
put all the terms, I'll put the individuals' names and the term length in them and in the motion for you, David. When I read this. It's Parks and Rec for you guys to sign. The next one I have is Board of Appeals. And we need to renew our only lonely member Valerie DeRozier for, she's requesting to renew for a 3-year term. Leaving 3 vacant spots on that board right now.
So we need 3 members?
You need 3 members, because you need 3 to decide when an appeals request, and then we need an alternate in case there's someone that needs to be recused for whatever reason.
Which Peggy Turnabout is it?
She never sits in the back row. Behind me, I'm getting nervous.
Is Mr. Benson still on the cemetery committee?
Yes,
I didn't look that far.
Yeah, he is. So he's gonna stay on there. You wanna do the do you wanna reappoint?
I'm sorry,
Miss, got me
Sorry about
confused, that's okay. We'll try to keep it organized. Did someone want to make a motion to appoint Valerie or appeal board?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we go appoint Valerie DeRosa to the appeals board.
Chris seconded that.
All in favor?
So we're out of luck, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You tell me who you have next and
Fire department.
All right, here is Board of Appeals, pass around.
Fire department roster.
Fire department roster, we don't do the appointments for the fire department roster.
What's
but you
that doing
do
any of that?
So that you have your information. You have all your people you need to call in an emergency. But you can, if you're right there, we can do the fire chief. We can do the fire chief and the EMA director if you're on that page, because I've got his right here too.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Emily?
What skeleton?
Is there anything you'd like to say on his behalf?
Please keep him.
Please don't.
All right. What do you got next?
Fire chief and EMA.
Nothing to add, Blaine? Before we
Is it
go on,
Andrew is annual budget. I have one here for him for EMA and for fire chief, if you want to do both of them at the same time.
Who's gonna do EMA again?
Well, luckily, there was nothing last year for storms.
And I'm still doing the ones from before I started.
Call me in, I'll help you.
We get a refund.
I wish.
Yes, the check will be in the mail.
But he's kinda tight.
Yeah, yeah. You got theirs right there?
Right here, you just gotta do your motion and stuff.
Yes, you wanna make a motion? Motion for Andrew Clark for fire chief and EMA.
I'll second it. Sorry,
Who's taking the second?
Tony can have it.
Tony's the second.
All in favor?
Who's next on your list in your book? This one, David.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of them.
Get out of here.
Is it animal control, isn't it?
So,
Animal control. Mm. Who's that? Officer. ACL.
so, Dennis Morrow. Animal control. Second. All in favor? You got a bunch of them, huh?
Got them all done.
You were the second on the. animal
Yes.
control. Who's your next one?
Oh, the fun one.
Easy, so I have renew Scott one to Genio's 2-year term,
Who?
Scott Montegenio, Justin Tozier, 2-year term. Christopher Newberry, he was already previously appointed, but we're officially doing it for the new year for a 2-year term. The rest were still, valid.
If I make motion? Sure. Go ahead.
A motion for Scott M. Would be on his name. Well, it's
Just
just
need a friggin' dry.
Justin Tozier. And Christopher Newbert.
Second it.
In favor? Yay.
And you got cemetery committee.
You have a request to do Beverly Winship, 1-year term. Denise Whitney, 1-year term. Peggy Turner, 1-year term.
Wow, nice. Where'd you go?
Roxanne Curtis, 1-year term. And Andrew Benson. Andrew Benson, 1-year term.
All new except for,
On cemetery, those are all the ones that have been on the cemetery.
well, they're all renewals, right?
Yep.
With the exception of Mr. Benson.
Yeah, his renewed though, because he took over another term, so, and they're always a 1-year term, he came in middle of the time, middle of the
Yeah.
period. But, the way that your
Oh,
records
yeah.
show, they're all, these are all 1-year appointments for this committee.
So we vote on him later?
Nope, you vote, everything goes and expires as of the end of the town meeting on the 1-year appointment, so that very next
Well, it says his term runs out 4/1/25.
1 year. Oh, it does, well,
326, yeah.
it should be 26. Where's the packet to be? His actual oath and appointment form, does it say 26? Because if it doesn't, I can get it changed.
I was just looking at my paper,
Yeah.
that I'm
Yep.
supposed to use for information
I will make,
purposes.
yeah, I will, if you guys wanna just put a slash on that, we'll fix it in the system. Point out no mistakes. Everybody is never above a mistake.
Remember that.
Yeah, this is a one-year term on here, it is for 26. Buyers for 1 of 26, so yeah, it's all set on there.
Make a motion.
Make a motion that we nominate Beverly Winship. He's good. Peggy Turner,
She's in the back, yeah.
want to make sure she heard.
Let's do it, start quiver.
Hi, Peggy. And Roxanne Curtis,
And Andrew Benson.
and then finally Andrew Benson. Last but not least, Andrew. That's all from
Maybe she could tell you, Peggy can tell you the difference between a flaw and a law.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Give him a young man lecture.
So we have a motion still.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Yay.
A lot of one votes. I noticed that. One yes, 2 abstentions. Yeah, it's happened before.
So David.
Does YouTube film this as well as?
It's supposed to, but the, software, we were supposed to go live tonight, so it'd be live and then saved, but the, streaming software wasn't cooperating, so today we, recorded it on Zoom, and at the end of the meeting, we'll upload it to the YouTube
So
channel.
it's just audio again.
No, it's visual, there is visual, but because we're doing it through Zoom, we can't do Zoom live through the software, so we're doing it, recording it through Zoom, and we'll, as soon as it's done tonight, we'll stop it and it will upload it to the YouTube channel, so we'll be able to redo this, but.
We'll get there.
So when these people are only one voting, I'm just saying that's being recorded, that we're
Right.
passing a vote that only one person has raised their hand or said yes, thank you.
So make sure you, raise your hand.
The people are watching. Except for Peggy, who can see. She's not there.
Who do you have next?
We'll go health officer.
Health officer, we contacted Linda Hunter, and she said she's okay to continue unless you had someone else that was, walking down the door to do so.
Do.
So make a motion to make Linda Hunter our health officer.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Look back.
Yeah.
We'll start waving.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, they're not appointed, they're just in there for your reference, so
Oh.
that just was the next page that came up in the,
Community center.
those are the ones that are not boards.
Charlene, does everyone need to get sworn in again if they were already?
Yep.
And they can just drop in?
You can drop in, we have them all right attached to all of these appointments, so we just have, as they can pop in at their convenience, we'll take care of it. If I can make it to one of the next, like, I can make it to the first cemetery meeting, the first rec meeting and EDC, I'll try to get them done during the meetings, but
Okay.
who's next on your list?
What do you got?
What do I got? Reappoint Ellery Bain for a 5-year term as assessor.
All right, let's do that one. Motion, we make Ellery Bean our assessor.
Second,
All in favor? Yay. Next.
Next one I have registrar, every 2 years, you have to reappoint me as registrar of voters.
Okay.
So I'm requesting that you reappoint me as registrar of voters and also confirm my request to appoint Brianna as the deputy registrar of voters.
What do you guys think about this one?
I don't know. Any
Doesn't
feedback?
sound like a fun job for you guys to do, right?
Hey, you want to make a motion? I'll say. All in favor? No, you didn't make a motion, I'll make a motion.
Fred.
I'll make a motion, make a motion, can we get a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Yay!
Only you were the second on that one. UARRC representatives, we contacted Diana Hauser and Elizabeth Susie, and they're willing to continue for another one-year term. They are still in search of an alternate for this board, so if you have any suggestions, so that we have it, because we are one of the towns that gets 2 votes, most of the towns that are involved only get 1 vote, so it's really key that we have an alternate that can step in for one of our reps.
Couple people I spoke to were not interested. So we still have the one, right?
We still have to find an alternate, yes.
Make a motion. For Diane Hauser and Elizabeth Susie. Second, all in favor?
All right, code enforcement. Code enforcement and local plumbing inspector, because he was only appointed through the renewal, he's a 1-year appointment, so we're required to reappoint Bill and LaJoy for those positions.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Dylan LaJoy as code enforcement and plumbing inspector for the town of Unity.
Second? I'll second. All in favor? I did.
Oh, yeah.
Here.
And budget committee. So we have a renewal for a 3-year term for Emily Newell. Not a renewal, we didn't have an oath on file for Emily for the last renewal from 24. So we have an appointment for her to continue on her 3-year term. Same for Jonathan Dowdy. Dan McCormick, Michael Berry, we already appointed him, but we have to officially do it in paper form for a 3-year term. Larry King said he's okay to renew again, he was up this year, so those are your peoples.
You guys still okay with that?
Yeah, how's it feel? Right. I make a motion that we nominate Emily Newell. Alden Dowdy. Dan McCormick. Michael Berry. Mike, you all good?
Yes.
And Lawrence King.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
That it?
I think so.
Just getting warmed up.
Unless you can think of any more.
Oh, next one's a fun one. Annual selectmen rep the town boards.
So now all these boards that you just did all these appointments from, each of you have to decide which ones you're going to sit on as the selectmen's rep. I think you've got EDC, planning board, recreation, parks and recreation, and cemetery. Those are the four.
I heard on with cemeteries.
I don't mind doing EDC planning board.
I'll do cemetery.
So what I get, sorry. Which one's left? What's the options?
You've got cemetery, you've got EDC and planning board.
Yep.
Guess you get rec.
Okay.
Do you wanna make a motion for that, or do you just want it good to just make the?
Yes.
You can, all of you can attend the appeals meeting, just like no vote. You wanna put someone specific that would go to appeals?
We never have any appeals.
So Tony is selecting rep. You're all are welcome to attend.
Yeah,
Give
right.
one person on the board at each of the meetings so that it could be brought back to the remaining of the board to, you know, if there's anything that comes up that needs to be brought to a meeting or session.
Need a motion on that or?
I don't know, you can if you want.
Make a motion, I'll say. There we are, you know where we're going, so. Yeah, so it's not like.
So Tony, we'll go to,
I think you have to make a motion for
I
that one,
wouldn't
Jim.
think so.
All right,
Tony.
old business. Let's see, let's see. There you go, John. Number 12. And you signs, done.
Okay, so, remember we had you sign the certificate, it's the selectman certification, so you signed it prior to going to town meeting, saying you're okay with it going before the citizens and going through public hearing. Now it's been confirmed at this, town meeting, so now you have to sign the permanent copy of that, so it's all it really is just following up with that paperwork trail. Which is, and it doesn't require a vote, because it's already been
Right, it's
approved.
already
You want to sign each of those copies?
Should they say co-chair underneath us? Dave?
Did we not do that? I can revise that and have it for the next meeting if you'd like, it'll make it easier. Okay,
Yeah.
I can do that. I think we had finished it prior to,
Jumping the gun. Number 13, review Gregory's disposal contract.
Yep, I basically took the prior one that you had with Gregory's and just revised it, so if you wanna run down through, make sure I haven't missed anything, or anything you wanna add to it before I send it to, Kyle, to have him sign his side of it.
Just photocopied it, that was it.
No, I cleaned it up and put the right dates and everything in it, and Cause the other one had the wrong dates, we put our header on it. I don't know if there was anything that you wanna add to this contract,
Couldn't take out, that's the question.
the only thing I took out was, I changed the dates at the top where it did say that it ended on January 31st of 24.
Okay,
It actually ended January 25. So now it's February 1st of 25 to January of 27 for the 2-year extension that you approved. All the rest stayed the same for the fuel clause, being that if it exceeded 550, then Gregory has the right to bill us on that same, premise that we would be responsible for their fuel charge. Contract agreement on item 5, page 2, I changed that to January 31st of 2027. And then I added the pricing points that were already previously approved by the owner of Gregory's and yourself of renewing the contract for the first year the same as it is now, $7,000 a month, $84,000 a year. And then the second 12 months would be $76.50, which I believe is $90-something thousand a year. And left the same clause in there for the minimum liability insurance and workers' comp insurance to be provided.
it's okay with the contract?
I am, yeah.
Make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the contract for Gregory's disposal. Take care of the disposal of the trash in Unity.
I'll second it. All in favor? Yay. Dave, got anything you wanna talk about?
Nothing, I was just curious about our road signs,
I ordered them. I haven't got them in yet. The ones that we
Yeah.
requested from White Signs. They've been ordered.
okay, perfect.
The list that you got, Tony, and you gave me a couple of weeks or so ago. I ordered them. I had
Chris, got anything? No? Nothing.
All in front of Bobby Hubbard's again,
Yep.
this big,
Yep. Some hot top road.
something like that, I mean, I didn't actually get down there and
Measure it.
measure it, but.
Yep. That we got, Ward Hill. Too.
I realize it's pretty hard to fix them right at the moment.
Yep.
She's gonna put sand and gravel or something, I don't know, that's
It's washed out.
temporarily. But just a little food for thought, same hole,
This is the. This comes up, let's stick them on,
yeah,
patch them up. And Quick Hill has one or two,
yeah,
so. The brush on your road, has that started yet?
No,
Nope.
like you said, the stumps will burn, so.
So, yeah. Public feedback, complaints, questions, concerns, throw tomatoes at us, I don't know, anything.
Yeah, I want to talk to you.
Alright.
I just gotta get in a better place. We should talk about the ambulance.
Let's talk about it.
The steering committee, whatever we were called, we met last night. And basically trying to figure out like, what does each town need? In terms of like timing, you know, if they're gonna raise the money for this year, how soon do they need to know to get it on the tax rolls? Most of the town, a handful of towns knew their dates and it was like July 1, and then we're more like August 1 in fact. If we're gonna raise the money, rather than pulling out of undesignated. So there was a timing question with that. I don't know if you have that answer, but just wanna put it out there to think about. And then otherwise, the committee just wanted to open up for you guys, so if you have more questions, we would love to get a list of questions from you and be able to like put out visual written answers to the questions. We're gonna get a website together to put a bunch of info on. We're looking at trying to get a video done to do a tour of the station and kind of explain some of this like general concepts of what is EMS and how does the thing operate, what does it take to be a provider, just to build some general understanding of it all. For folks who don't wanna sit through a long public information session and they'd rather like this or watch a video. So if we had your questions and concerns and could address those in some of this content that we're gonna build, I just thought it would be helpful.
So you guys have been working on, or?
We just had our first meeting since the Unity meeting.
Yeah,
So we were just trying to figure out like, what's the path forward? And it seemed like in the Unity meeting in particular, I think the select board was basically saying, I feel like there's more questions and wanna do some more research, but we open up. We wanna know what your questions are, so we can help answer those.
Sure, we're kind of wanting to get the budget committee involved on that.
Yeah, I looked it up in our minutes. It's April 28th. You had scheduled to meet. I believe it was 6 p.m. That was when everybody was available again. So if we could get meeting, maybe I could send an email out.
was
to
that
the
the day
committee.
we decided, or?
Yep, it was in
over
one
there,
of the sets of meeting minutes that you approved, actually. One of the joint session.
And also at the town meeting, Tim had mentioned that it was funding through county level. Wondering how, if you guys have started that process, looking into that, and what.
April 28th, 6 p.m.
So
town
to
office.
get that county level money, would have to be municipal. So that'd be quite a change. That's not something that can happen that quickly.
Okay.
Plus that his budget cycle, that would be for next year, wouldn't it? Wasn't he talking for next year?
I think so. They've already presented us with this year's
Yeah,
budget.
their budget is done, so I think we're still looking at the short-term fix. They do intend to continue to research quasi-municipal or, sort of like a sewer district, ambulance district kind of thing.
Yeah.
There were some other experts there who were talking about things that have happened in other counties, and they all were on the same page talking about what that was. It was something I don't know, all the ins and outs. So, I mean, there's this year, we could fund status quo and just keep this thing running so that we can continue the coverage. And then those kinds of conversations do need to continue on in the future, more long-term. So I think we're looking at a multi-phase process. In terms of April 28th, if you were able to present your burning questions sooner, it would be really great. Maybe some of the other towns that are gonna go back to a special town meeting are looking at doing that in May, like late May.
Or go back to their special town meetings for late May.
Yeah, and the thing is, those other towns are kind of looking at us because we're the big players
It's
here.
contingent, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, their meeting was super positive, they had a lot of support, but they were like, we support this as long as everybody else is in. And Troy was the same way, we support this as long as everybody else is in. So they want to see what we're gonna do.
Troy had only offered to give a certain dollar amount.
That was Knox,
Knox, yeah, they split,
so, this, no.
cause they were gonna spend so much, they were gonna, is it Knox also serviced by Brooks?
Yeah.
So they were gonna have them pick up more of the service area, I think.
They said, yeah, first asked for this much, we'll give the same amount to both. So the ambulance is gonna have to go back to Knox and say, sorry, that wasn't the deal, if you want coverage, it has to be this price. You know, it's gonna be the same price, we're not gonna give a better deal to Knox than all the other towns.
So could you get us our price with not including Knox and stuff?
Yeah, we're gonna have to work on some numbers of like.
Yeah.
Exactly
Well,
what's gonna
that
happen,
number's
if we don't
gonna
get
be,
that
that number's gonna
37,
be like
how do we absorb
continually
that?
changing, right? I mean,
And did Burnham decide what they were going to do? I know that they were talking to taking the full service area to Clinton,
So-
right?
Yeah, so Burnham voted they approved 50,000. And their concept was they were gonna give half to Unity ambulance and half to Clinton, but same situation with Unity, it's like, I'm sorry, that's not the offer.
Yeah,
We can do it this way. So Chuck and Butch, these third-party experts are the ones working on the budget, trying to like break it down into smaller, easier to chew, more presentation friendly information. Anyway. Trying to provide more information, so we just wanna make sure we address whatever questions you have. What timeline were you guys thinking about for?
I know that we talked
Addressing
that it
the-
had to be prior to commitment so that we could raise taxation rather than taking that full chunk out of the general fund. But it was up, I think you guys were gonna try to work on with that committee before we set a date, right?
yep. We were gonna try, I mean, we're trying as a town to do some due diligence, I mean, ultimately, we may end up right back to where we started, I mean, it's not a flat out no, but I mean, I just don't see how this is sustainable. I mean, if 32% of our calls are non-billable, I just, this dollar amount, again, it's just gonna keep growing, right? I mean, year after year after year.
No, so probably, I mean, they didn't
I mean,
say,
I
they
would
didn't say
just-
3% increase is expected, but that
it's
30%
just a
unknowable,
concerning,
that's not because they're Unity ambulance. That's just because of the nature of calls, I mean, every ambulance service faces that.
and I realize
Whether
that,
you go
but this is
physical
an
or not.
unfixable, I mean, this number is this is the starting point, and it just goes up from there, right?
Most likely,
I mean,
I don't know if anybody
in
thinks
all,
they go
you know,
down,
Right.
I don't know costs that go down.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that is the reality, and I think that's no matter what we do.
and it's a scary situation to, you know, both, I mean, we certainly understand that the ambulance service is very much needed.
Yeah, I know. No. It's changed.
I don't, like I said, I don't know what the answers are, it bothers me as a citizen, but, you know. I don't know what other avenues of pursuit we have, we may have nothing, but, we should at least get this committee together, pose a few of the questions, and then maybe we can bring them back to you.
If you want, we could start an email chain asking the committee that we had talked to voice their questions into that email, and then we can forward them to Emily for that response, so that maybe they can have those answers back by the April 20th meeting, maybe a little easier.
That'd be great.
Is that,
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of days between now and 28th.
yeah,
We'll use them. Yeah, so future options, I think we will continue to have this conversation. So let's say this plays out.
It's not a flat out no for me, I just, yeah, you know, and it wasn't meant to disparage anyone that does that, it's just, it's a concern that, I mean, you can't put your finger on the cost of this service going forward, I mean, if the state doesn't fund their portions of it, then,
ties our hands.
yeah, we're kind of screwed as a community.
Yeah, that's the whole stake, yeah. Yeah, so I can think of one question already, so some of these guys have talked about other organizational methods for ambulance services, sort of regionalizing concepts and different concepts of how people are appointed to the board that oversees that and develops the budget, and then that gets voted on. In some areas, it gets voted on similar to how a school budget does. You get the representation of the townsfolk on board, we create the budget, and it just goes up or no. So some of those options could be better explained by somebody who knows what they're talking about, which is not me.
Well,
I don't know what those
I mean, we
organizational styles are.
you take the school, which is another unfunded liability that the town has no
Unfunded
control over, you know. And
Yeah,
you
so I'll put
you
that on
stack
there.
2 or 3 of these things on top of themselves and it,
Feel bad.
yeah, it's not a fun situation to be in, I guess.
So thank you, yeah.
And like I said, ultimately, it may come right back, you know, to where we started.
I think this is, to me, it's looking like a short-term question. It's like, we just fund Band-Aid, buy us some time, and then it turns into a much bigger discussion
Yeah.
about what is the ambulance service regionally going to look like going into the future. You know, is this the best organizational method?
I mean, how does it affect the Unity ambulance service with not having water go to be a place of, you know, of transport? I mean.
So a lot of people already go to Thayer.
Mhm.
So a lot of people still go to Thayer, and more people are going to Thayer. From here, the alternative Northern Light would be Pittsfield. They are quickly overwhelmed at a 4-bed.
And is that,
And then
I mean,
Bangor.
does this affect the amount of money that the ambulance
Oh.
service is trying to ask for? I mean,
If you
are
deliver
you
people,
going further away and this is gonna be a bigger
if you go further, you
expenditure?
charge more money. Yeah, like one of the things that Chris Mitchell said to me when we were talking numbers, because I was able to get the like average per call reimbursement amount. And I told him, and he's like, can you double check? That seems high. And so I double checked and he's like, yeah, that's what it is. It's like, that's higher than ours. And he was like, oh, that's right. You guys take your patients further. And there's a by mile billing portion. And so, you know, actually, if you take them further, we can bill more, but that means that's more time that we're not back in
Right,
town
that's,
to pick up the second call.
right,
And for now, we still definitely leaning on call force for that second call. And a lot of the nights.
Yeah.
We'll still be some call force coverage. So we've been talking to also, the group wants to do 2 more public information sessions. Definitely after we get this Q&A sort of thing developed, so people can digest some of the information and then come. I don't know, if the 28th, would we be bombarding you guys if we made that into like a multi-town public anything about it? Whether that needs to be like your small unity group, or if that's gonna be a date that we use for like, everybody can talk and listen.
I think we've been doing it just out of town alone. Yep. I feel like we're getting this crammed down our throats, you know, that's how I feel. We were told right off the bat that they had enough to fund them for 2 years.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we gotta get this done, and then everybody's counting on us. To me, that's not right. You know, it's like, our concern should be our citizens. And then whatever comes after that, you know, and that's how I feel, you know. I feel like we took the rope already with the school budget for everybody else, you know.
That's celebrity, yeah.
So, and I'm feeling the same way about the whole ambulance thing, we're toting the bill for everybody. Peggy?
I was kind of under the impression that, from what I heard differently, that you were gonna have all the towns come together to have a meeting.
That's what we wanna do, yeah, we wanna put on to these public information sessions or opportunities for all of the towns to get together. To listen some more. Inevitably, every town has to go back to their own special town meeting and vote whether or not they're gonna raise the money. But when it comes down to like one town dropping out, that changes everything, changes the funding.
Domino effect,
It's like-
right? Or-
You know, if we are, as we think about just unity, if we are just unity and we're not all these other towns, it suddenly becomes more expensive to host the service. There is some benefit to having additional towns that cover, to a degree, and
Yeah.
you get too far out and it's unmanageable, but call volume makes it it's expensive, and everybody is looking at that stuff. So in terms of out of money in like year and a half, 2 years, totally true. That's to zero. The thing is that some of the urgency right now is the process to zero. Like as they continue to dip into those reserves that they have, they don't make as much money on the money they have. So it just goes faster and faster and faster. It's like if this thing's gonna survive, it would just be nice to catch it now before it gets down to dinging on totally empty. Yeah. And plus, town meeting comes once a year. It's yeah, it would have been great to have this process started sooner. Process costed money, and these guys who have helped us through the having this third party folks come and like do an investigation of the service and make sure there weren't any major issues going on, went all through their financials and through the operation, interviewed everyone who would agree to be interviewed. I think that was worthwhile just to make sure there wasn't something really funky going on to explain. So anyway, like there was a cost to that. And so they got the grant, they paid that cost. And happened when it happened.
What was the cost of that, if you don't mind me
I don't
asking?
know.
You don't know.
I don't know. Bruce ought to know, because he got the grant and he found these folks. Put us through the process. I got appointed by you to the committee, I can't after. I don't know. Okay, cool, yeah, so do your own thing,
Well,
April 28th, I will not bombard that.
like I said, there's no easy answers. I mean, we certainly don't have them right at the moment, but
No, I know,
I mean,
just wanna walk the word together and
Right.
stay out in the open about what we're all working on and stay on the same page as much as possible.
I've got a couple of wide open questions that come to my mind in the ambulance. They're not necessarily that excitable things to talk about, I guess, but why, so one of the questions as a taxpayer, why do we have two entities? I would say as far as the fire department and the ambulance. Before I make a decision, I would like to see what that looks like together and, you know, moving forward in that type of direction. Whether or not we keep two buildings or not, I mean, I've been shot down about keeping overhead down, but either way, I would like to see how that would look. Especially with manpower and, you know, having 6 people on staff. People can just as well drive fire trucks as they can vehicles. I don't know the ins and outs to that. So I think I'm answering a question that a lot of people might wanna know about, I don't know, but,
Yeah, we can definitely talk about what cross training would look like. You know, do firemen become EMS providers easily, can EMS providers be firemen easily? We can definitely,
and then
Talk
on
about
the
that.
financial side of it too.
yeah, what would it look like to be municipal?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I wasn't there when the ambulance was created, I don't know why it was created as a nonprofit, but.
Understanding, wasn't it part of the fire department at one time? Or
No, it never.
Never was.
Never was. I was in the same department for a while until they got up and running and got their own. Okay, so that's how I heard about
Yeah,
that.
so they were given the land by John Gilly, who owned the laundromat at the time,
And that's when they separated.
my grandpa.
I had more answers, but my grandmother's been dead for 20 years and she was.
Yeah, we lost that. Can't ask these people.
So I'd like to see that, if, you know, whether or not you wanna broadcast that online or whatever.
And like you said, we might not like what we see, you know.
I said at the town meeting, if this all makes sense at the end, so be it, right?
Well, like I said, we may, in all likelihood, we're gonna wind up back at this spot, but I think we owe it to ourselves to be diligent about this and at least explore other options. Like I said, this seems to be probably the most cost-effective way at the moment to solve this problem, but I mean, we should have a little bit more open discussion about it, I think, and it's unfortunate that we don't have a lot of involvement in the community on this. I mean, it's a pretty big topic. I mean, the informational session you had, we had 30 people maybe, 45 at the town meeting, but, you know.
But if I can put stuff on the website and some videos,
Yeah.
that'll get way more people
Yeah.
asking more questions, honestly, but whatever. They ask, I answer.
We could always put a link on the town page as well, linking it to that page so that there's that connections there between the town.
And community opportunity and taxpayers,
Yeah.
because there are people who don't look at the other things.
Mhm.
And like Mike said, if, you know, if we can have some comparative numbers, as much as we may not like them, at least you can have a visual, you know.
I'm kind of hearing that, you know, we don't qualify for certain grants because it's private. So what is that, the cost to the taxpayer, you know, because we're not getting these grants? Is it a $20,000 grant we're talking about, or a $500,000 grant? I mean, that's huge.
Yep.
Try it. Thanks, I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emily.
Thank you. Anybody else? Points, questions?
Yep, it looks like Parks and Rec has been operating without a selectman's representative for a year now, so I have no
I
idea.
have never heard of the selectmen sitting in on any of these committees, so this is the first I heard of it
Well, it's an
tonight.
annual, so I don't know.
Last year we.
Matter of fact, we got kicked out of a few of them.
Oh, we can do that?
We did.
Keep that in mind.
We did.
Yes, I won't be showing up.
So in the
This
past,
is,
you
like I
sat
said, this is the
on.
first I heard.
And then I was told I couldn't be
You
on it.
couldn't be on it
Right,
anymore.
so
You
the way
know,
that works with the one that you were on with EDC, you don't have voting power, because you can't be an overseeing board to a board that makes decisions that's referring to you. So as a selectman's representative, so I asked if you guys wanted to do that last year, and you're like, we're just gonna continue as it is, but it makes sense so that you have an understanding of what's being discussed in those meetings and not getting it secondhand or not hearing it, he said, she said. You're at least able to be there here, you don't have to speak, you don't vote, you're just sitting in and saying, okay, I'm listening to what they're discussing, this is what they discussed, bringing it back to the rest of the board, so on and so forth. Hopefully it will help with the clarity and the transparency. Obviously, this little bugger here is supposed to help us with that as well. In fact, his name is Mr. Transparency, if you'd like to meet him.
And yet he's okay.
Bob, to get back to your question, this is the first I've heard of it, because like I said, we were removed from all committees.
That wasn't mine.
Alright, so I'm in the dark as much as anyone else. Very good.
This, like I said, this is all new to me,
We had people on committees because our committees tended to the moon. And that was the reason we decided to put people on committees, was to keep an eye on it, so that way when things kind of went wacky, we could reel them in a little bit.
I guess we behaved ourselves okay.
I guess so.
I would assume that you've done an impeccable job.
Impeccable, I'll keep that in mind.
That was the reason behind that years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, because, you know, things go wacky and then they come here and then we're like.
I don't wanna talk while somebody's from the select board's here.
And then it
I
gets
hate
shut
that,
down.
I hate that jerk off and I can't even express myself when he's here.
Alright.
Be a lot easier if he wasn't in the room.
Anybody else? Anything? Nothing? Going once? Going twice? I call the meeting over at 8. Can I get a second?
All in favor?
Yay!
What's the most dynamic vote of the evening?
Alright. Okay.